My name is Bonnie B, and you are watching The Power of Perseverance. So, Chris with Track Beverages, super excited to be talking with you today. We met after a colleague of mine had connected with you, and I thought what an interesting conversation would be to talk about what you do. So, thank you.
No problem. I've been looking forward to this for a little while now, since the dinner. It's been awesome.
And that Italian dinner was legit. I mean,
It
good
really was.
food. I think New Jersey's kind of known for that, aren't they? The Italian food.
It really is. I think all of us were surprised. I had family that went there and they definitely undersold
Oh, well, then there you go.
it.
So, being in the beverage industry, here is what you do, right? Track Beverage distributes products to gas stations, grocery stores, convenience stores. Is that right? What is Track Beverage?
So Track Beverages, we distribute. I want to back up a second. We wanted to look at better for you products. So what we distribute, we look at through a magnifying glass to make sure that we back the product ourselves. We like it ourselves. We bring it out to the community to make sure they like it. And then we partner with that company. We distribute it to the off-premise channel, which is pretty much anything outside of a bar or restaurant.
And how did you get involved distributing drinks? Like, what brought you into this industry?
My father has always been in the beverage industry. Started out in the alcohol industry. I used to go to work with him as a kid. I looked up to him. Um, when we would go to work, seeing all those people, different types of people, different settings, it always intrigued me. And once I got out on my own, started my own 2 feet, looking at the industry, I went on the non-alcohol side of things. So my father and I have been doing this, I mean, my entire life. We know it from the back to the front. We've been on all sides of it, and really are keyed in to the market.
Is what you do a pretty competitive market as far as you going to, if, and tell me if I am saying this right, because I'm not, an expert, but let's say I'm Chris with Track Beverage and you're a C store or whatever. I
Mhm.
come to you and I basically say, hey, I've got products I want to bring into your store, or how does it work and how competitive is your industry?
I wish it was that simple.
It's not.
No, no, no. Everybody's trained to say no when they see a new product, a new person, a new company. So you really got to build that rapport with your customer. Um, yeah, we go in there, we introduce ourselves. I've been in the market for 15, 17 years. So for the most part, we know all the major people, the franchises, the decision makers, but really you're going into a store and you're selling your service, you're selling the idea, and you need to be able to um, you really need to understand what it is that you're trying to do. You're bringing in a drink. You want to know everything about that drink because that customer doesn't know. So we're educating them at the same time as selling them a service. Um, you know, it's a all-inclusive service. We come in, we take the order, we pack it out, we look at, make sure your stock is fresh, we rotate, we make sure that the cooler doors are clean. It's an all-in-one service, and by doing that, um, you're pretty much giving that customer one less thing to do, or in some cases multiple less things to do. They don't have to pack it out themselves, they don't have to clean their cooler door themselves. We are the experts in that field. So when you're going to a customer, you need to sell them on the fact that you're the expert in this category.
Okay, so as a distributor, do they all work this way? Meaning you said we're in the business of the better for you drink space. So what I'm hearing you say is you don't just gather every energy drink in the market and then try to see which store picks it up. How do you decide what drink you're going to pick up and then just how to distribute that?
So we have had probably 2 dozen meetings, conversations with all different types of suppliers. Um, and the way we wanted to do business was very transparent. We told them up front, this is what our customers expect. This is what we want to do. So we really looked at very carefully each brand that we're representing. And it really came down to, is the product good? Do we like the product? Does the community like the product? Is the pricing in line, not just for us, but for the end customer? So from us to, say, a gas station and then to the end customer, does that price point make sense? And then really the most important thing is, are we on the same page? Uh, if our supplier is not, we want to create a true partnership with our supplier. So we want to be on the same page. And if we have different goals, different aspects of how we want to get there, it's not going to be a good fit. So we've denied, 90% of the suppliers that we've spoken to just because I mean, there was one supplier where they didn't want to be in every gas station or every place. They wanted to be in key locations, and that didn't fit with us because we want it in the right places also, but we want the market to decide what those places are. So the best way to do that is to flood the market, get it out there, see how it's selling, instead of picking and choosing winners. There's another supplier that wouldn't work on credits or returns if something was out of code. They didn't want anything to do with that, and that's not going to make the customer happy. So it really does have to be a partnership. That was the most important thing.
So it sounds like this isn't just like a checklist. You're going to find people to hurry and hustle and make you some dollars, but
No.
you're setting up around relationships of trust and just kind of understanding what you're talking about as far as the distribution. So I walk into these gas stations, these stores, and I see over 20 different energy drinks. And to me, it's just a different marketing, a different packaging, a different flavored caffeinated water. That's what it
Mhm.
is to me, understanding as a nutritionist what's really in these cans and how they're going to fool the next customer. Like, I think marketing is so interesting,
It is.
right? Like they're just messing with your mind, really.
Hmm.
So what was so interesting about what you do in your background is one of your biggest clients or some of your biggest clients in the energy drink space, you no longer work with, or at least that's what launched you. Is that right?
Yep. So I used to work for Red Bull Energy Drink. They essentially created the energy category. I was with them for just shy of 15 years. I helped build a very large territory. And as the product grew, we started seeing the energy category kind of split off into the sugar-free energy drink category.
Yeah, because they
And
started out with sugar in their first original
yep,
drink, right? Red Bull gives you
yep.
wings. So, what do you feel like made them so successful in their first launch?
What made them successful is their marketing. The way they see themselves, they are a marketing company first, and then they have a product second.
Do you think
And
most
it
of these companies see themselves this way, that are the most
no,
successful? Okay.
that are the most successful, yes. If they see
Okay.
themselves as also a marketing company, yes. If they're putting marketing on the side, they're not going to succeed.
And have you seen that as well?
I have seen energy drinks come and go every year. I call them pump and dump schemes. You know, they get out there fast. They offer great prices, free this, free that, but then the next year they're gone, and it's because the product wasn't good. They were just trying to get the market flooded with this, and that was it, and make their money back and then some. They're not trying to build something, and that's what I found different with Vault. I don't think that they are trying to just make their money back and leave it alone. I really think that it is the next generation in the energy category.
Okay, so how did you come in contact with Vault and the drink, and when you did, what was that aha moment for you?
So what's funny is when I was working with Red Bull, I was also working a second job, and I would watch podcasts, the PBD podcast, and I saw in the background this drink, and now working in the beverage industry, naturally curious, what is that drink? Where is that
Right.
drink? What
I
does
had no
that
idea
drink
you
taste
saw it
like?
on his podcast. That's so
Yep,
cool.
yep. I don't even think I told our dinner attendees this story of how I got to Vault, but
Okay.
when I had lost my job, when I had gotten laid off because Red Bull's losing a lot of money. Just a fun fact, their sales for 2023 was equivalent to their sales in 2019, and that's not a good look at all. They're losing a lot of
No.
money. Yep, they're losing it to the sugar-free index. So I naturally looked everywhere, applied everywhere. And at the same time, Manek just launched. And I was like, you know what? I have put out about 50 resumes, uh, and I don't see myself in any of those careers. And in the meantime, I looked up Vault, I researched Vault, I found it extremely interesting. I bought a case, I liked it. So Manek had just launched, and I connected with Adam Sosnick, and
Oh
I
yeah,
treated
Adam's
it,
great. I like
yeah,
Adam.
I treated it as an interview. And I said to him, I just want to be pointed in the right direction. How do I get in touch with Vault? How do I think that is the future. I have an extensive background in it. He pointed me in the right direction, put my name out there to the right person, got in contact with him. They said that they weren't looking for anybody at the moment. Totally understandable. Um, so I continued my search, and I mean, the last year with Red Bull, my wife and I were trying to decide how, because I saw the writing on the wall, I saw the money, I saw that Red Bull sales were going down, I saw that the category was going in a different way, and I knew that they were going into financial strains. So my wife and I were trying to think, how can we succeed ourselves? And everything just lined up, and it was like, aha, I got it. Why don't we do it ourselves? I know the territory, I know the category, I know the right people. My father, he's been in the industry for 35 plus years. We have a lot of connections. Why not do this ourselves? And I reached out to Vault as a distributor a couple months later, as I did with every other supplier. Cody got back to me, I mean, within 24 hours.
Oh yeah, Cody's
And
so great.
I I have not, still to this day, I've worked with people who are so on the same page and work as fast as I do. Um, and I just knew, there's something here. There is something here. And it just went from there.
Okay, had no idea that's even how you found Volt. I think that's really cool. Two, when you were reading the supplement fact panel, what was the most important thing besides being sugar free and then having BHB in it? Did you know anything about ketones? Are you familiar with even like where that is in the industry right now?
Before speaking with Cody, no, I didn't. But what stood out to me in the supplemental facts, I didn't look at who created Volt. I didn't see that Ketone Labs created it. I was looking at what was in the package, and what stood out to me was the caffeine, not having zero caffeine. If you look at every other sugar-free energy drink has 200 milligrams or more of caffeine, which is equivalent to just about four 16-ounce sodas in each can. That is a
Wow,
lot of caffeine.
that is a
There's
lot of
even
caffeine.
Yep. That
Well,
stuck out to me.
the thing about caffeine, and I'm sure you already know this, is people confuse your neurons, your neurological systems, these electric magnetic waves in your brain being stimulated, and that's what creates this motivation of energy. But energy really is food in your cells giving you, the resources you need to be able to perform. So when people drink this Volt, I don't know what your experience was, but they describe it as if they're super focused and have energy, but it's almost like you're in the zone. What was your
Yep.
experience?
That is almost precisely the wording. After drinking a Vault, I am absolutely more focused. It was like I was in a brain fog beforehand, but I am much more focused. One of the other things that I really like about it is anybody could drink it. My
Oh,
kids
even
can drink it.
kids,
Yep,
kids, which is
my
huge.
kids can
You
drink it.
can't put Celsius, you can't put Monster. I mean, you could, but what are you doing to your kids by drinking that?
On every bottle of Celsius, Monster, Red Bull, Ghost, you name it, it says under 18, do not consume.
Right.
90% of the consumer or customers did not know that that label was on every can, and
I didn't
their eyes
actually note
shocked.
it till you pointed it out to me.
Yep,
So on occasion, I've drinking some of those drinks, right? Because that's what's been available until
sure,
Vault. So when you pointed that out, and it gives the like, here's your marketing, right? Live fit. Well, how is living your best life long term overstimulating your brain power
right.
energy? I mean, your central nervous system, the organ that runs everything, and you're going to put it in overdrive for 20, 30, 40 years and then wonder why you have issues later on with your brain.
Yep,
That's what's so comical to me is people are like, they don't think about the bigger vision of their body, right? They want what's
yep.
quick and fast and easy now. So I would imagine after finding all the research and having Cody explain to you what BHB is capable of, um, how does that make an impact on you taking that in your business?
Um, it just arms me with more selling points. It brings awareness to what is inside these energy drinks and makes customers more aware of what they're putting in their body. The category has moved to a better for you lifestyle, but they still want that energy. They want that focus. The only alternative up until this point has been Celsius or maybe Ghost. Those are the big products because you look at Red Bull, you look at Monster, they got sugar. Well, this is sugar free, so that's a little bit better. Now we have an alternative that is what they're looking for.
And I believe they're looking for a caffeinated free beverage. So there was an article by AFN. I don't know if an AG funder backed two women that used to work for PepsiCo, and they raised funding and actually launched a zero sugar free ketone fueled energy drink. And they talk about how ketones are the future next gen energy drink. The difference, though, in their drink and what we do with BHB is they use what's actually called a pre ketone, which is digested through the liver, and it's an alcohol. So at high amounts of consumption long term, your liver is still processing alcohols. So love that they see ketones being the next generation, but I think
Right.
people are going to start to be confused as these energy drinks come out, what the difference is between having an actual bioidentical ketone that doesn't require that. And so I think that's going to be the next step in education. But what
Yeah.
was so cool about this is they're seeing this is going to be $1 billion industry. I don't know, is 5, 10 years, because people want to make changes. Like you said, the awareness is coming around. And what is so interesting to me is you started to say at our dinner that when you pick a drink, you're placing really kind of a bet on your business and how this
Yep.
is going to do. And you're trusting the brand because this is your livelihood. How big of an impact and how big of a decision was it really to pick up Vault and start distributing this?
My if it wasn't for my wife, I don't know if any of this would be possible. She is such a huge supporter in the decisions that we make together. And with placing the bet on ourselves, we're
Yeah.
minimizing the risk to our kids' futures. And I'm not going to leave it to somebody else uh, to decide what my kids are going to have and be able to access. We're betting on ourselves, and that's why we're so thorough with who we bring on as a product. Because you're right, it is a bet. It's a bet, and we don't want to lose. And we will put everything we have into what we do and make sure our partners are willing to do the same. That's how important our partnerships have to be. They want to succeed. We want to succeed. If they're looking for a pump and dump scheme, we cannot be part of that because that's not, there's no future in that. We need to
So
have
you're
a
saying on
future.
the receiving end of these distribute your customers, they're
Hmm.
also betting on trusting you're bringing a good product that's going to sell in their stores.
Right. Yep. They're spending their hard-earned dollars to um, to purchase products. Yes, there's some risk in everything that they take in, but the more we educate, the more they become trusting in us that they're making the right decision and being there week in and week out to make sure that they're happy, that they're good, that they have everything that they need to succeed themselves. That trust builds, and then that just makes all of us succeed.
So before you brought it in and you had to pick between the flavors, does that play a part in what you bring in too? So like if you have 10 flavors, do you only pick two or do you bring all the flavors in? Like how do you decide which of the flavors you're going to bring in?
Well, it's not up to us to decide what sells where. The strategy is bring in what we have to offer, let the market decide, and then do what's best for the stores. If they have something on the shelf that's not selling, they're not making any money on it, which is hurting our relationship. So if it's not selling, we need to be held responsible for that. So say there's six flavors, one of them's not selling in one market, doesn't mean it's not selling in all the markets. We're going to put the right flavors in the right places, but the only way to find out what's going to sell is to put it out
So did you do a taste test in these stores?
there. I've done many, many taste tests.
Oh,
When we take on a product, we do a taste test ourselves and then we bring it to the community. We have a sampling out there and then
how does it
um,
work? How does that work?
uh, in the community.
Yeah, and like how many people is it? Is it just, hey, I need five of you? Or is it like, hey, we're having a party at the gas station? Like, what does that look like?
No, we set up a table outside of, set account. And as people walk by, we ask them if you want to try a new drink. 50% of them keep walking, but the other 50, they're interested in. That's where our job begins. We educate them on what it is, what it looks like, the ingredients in it, what it does, and have them try a blind sampling of a competitor versus Vault. 20, 30 out of 34 people have picked Vault over the leading competitor.
30 out of 34. And did you just have one competitor or did you have two?
We used Celsius, the top,
Oh,
yeah, the top of the sugar-free profile. We
so you took
want
their
to.
leading flavor and you compared it against Vault's leading flavor.
I did watermelon to watermelon, one to
Oh, no
one.
kidding.
Yep, 30 out of 34 preferred Vault.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I
Yeah,
like watermelon. It's a little tart, but if it's too sweet for me, personally, my taste buds like get turned off.
watermelon was my favorite, and then I don't know, black cherry snuck up on me. I really like black cherry.
It's a good change, right? It's a good
It is.
change. Yeah, I like it too. So as far as your background goes, this has kind of been your livelihood for the last over 20 years. You've become a leading expert. How competitive is your industry for what you do? Like
Extra.
how many people do you compete against for these spots? Because I
We
think I
compete
want
against
to,
everybody.
everybody.
Everybody is looking for that space. Everybody comes out. Every distributor has a new product.
So
I
let me
think
rephrase the
there's
question. So if
sure.
I'm a personal trainer and there's in the gym, there's five other personal trainers, I'm competing with five others. What you do, how many other people do what you do? Is there 10 other distribution companies? Is there 100? Just to kind of give the vision of scale of what competition looks like and how cutthroat it could be for you.
Uh, there's in the energy category, and say one door. I'm going to give you two answers. In the energy category, there's usually one to two doors. You're probably competing with 30 different products, getting that space. In the store as a whole, in the beverage aisle, you're looking at over 100 distributors fighting for just one space in that cooler for a new product, one
A
to two
hundred
facings.
distributors?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh. And this is nationwide?
yeah,
So in all of these stores, let's say I walk into a gas station and one open door with like 30 drinks, you get maybe one or two of those little slots and there's a
yeah.
hundred people competing for that.
It depends on what it is. If you're looking at the soda, Coke usually has a door, Pepsi usually has a door, and then beer distributors have now been taking on they've been taking on sugar-free energy drinks. So now we got beer distributors in the mix,
Oh my
as well
gosh.
as Coke and Pepsi, Dr. Pepper. I mean, you name it. Everybody's competing because the energy category as a whole is the only category that's up double digits every year, whereas the soda is down, if not flat, year over year. And the beer industry has taken a major hit, so they're taking on other products now.
That's interesting. Has that affected, do you think that's what affected Red Bull is now the beer also taking that on?
No, the sole reason Red Bull has been not declining in sales, they've plateaued. They're not increasing their sales as they have in the last few years, is because in the last 4 years people have become more health conscious, and they're looking for that better for you alternative with getting the same effect. So they want energy, but they want a better for you drink. Red Bull has come out with sugar free flavors in the past, and every one of them has failed with the exception of their regular sugar free.
So what stores are you in and in what areas so that people listening know where to come and pick it up if they're not going to purchase from Amazon?
So we service the Hudson Valley in New York. It's right above New York City. It consists of 7 counties: Sullivan County, Orange, Ulster, Putnam, Dutchess, Orange, and Rockland.
I think that's huge, especially for people that work on Wall Street and bankers, where that area is so heavily populated with finance. I
Yes.
mean, I would imagine I'm not on Wall Street, but the amount of brain power, if your brain uses 20% more energy and the ketones are the energy you're using, and you need to expand and find it somewhere, I would imagine this would be even a hotter spot too, just because they're looking for that. So if you're on Wall Street and you guys are a number person, you know where to find your ketones.
And you can also go on our website, trackbeverages.com. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We list the stores that we go into. We take pictures so that this way, anybody following, they can look for their store. There's a picture of where we are in that store to make it a little bit easier.
I'm going to throw this in there too, only because I didn't say it in my. These drinks clinically show that they speed up your cognitive power by 9.9%. So back to my numbers game, how quick do you have to be to place or pull things off the stock market? Again, I don't work on Wall Street, but I would imagine you'd have to be on your game all the time. I do watch
Yeah.
Billions, so if Billions is anything compared to that. Through all of this and learning the categories outside of Vault and your drink experience, what would you say has been the most meaningful thing you've done in your work?
Outside of Vault,
Like just being in this industry, what kind of meaning has it brought to you?
I never was a people person. Um, I worked for about 6 years just in a warehouse making deliveries for Nabisco. Never wanted to be around people, and being in this industry has opened it up so much more. And I love meeting new people. I love making those connections, hearing their stories, and really connecting with them. It really has brought a lot of joy into my life. And now that my kids are older, they have been going to work with me, and seeing them experience this has been absolutely amazing.
Sounds like family is really important to you and building these relationships and extending it into your business rapport.
Yeah, family is very, very important. Um, One of the other deciding factors, funny enough, my grandparents, who I'm very close with, they're in their 80s. My grandmother is diabetic, and she could never try what it was that I was selling. Couldn't drink Red Bull because she's diabetic. But Vault, she loves. My kids love Vault. It's something my entire family can drink.
So when did that switch from, was it when you dropped with Red Bull and left that you decided you wanted to do more meaningful products?
Yeah, um, I wanted to bring healthier alternatives to the category because that's where it was going. Listening to customers, listening to their customers, they were always asking, what does this mean on here? What does this mean on here? And that they want something for, their kids want Red Bull, but they're too young. They're 16. They don't think they should have a Red Bull. Um, or a Monster, what have you, but hearing their stories and seeing what's coming to the market, definitely wanted to be part of that change.
So it sounds like, did any of this have to do with any of your own personal health improvements or just only customer base? Because it sounds like your wife has a huge influence in bringing in healthy things into your lifestyle.
Yes, she does. We have 6 kids. We are very,
Which, by the way,
uh,
you don't even look old enough to have 6 kids. When we met this guy in person, he's like, looks like he's 25 just because you got great skin and you look great in shape. So to have six
thank you.
kids, I don't know I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, they keep you on your toes. Constant sports, constant moving around. Um, yeah. Uh, I forgot what was the question before that?
Your wife being part of the
Oh,
healthy alternative changes in your lifestyle.
yeah. So we're very conscious of what we bring into the house, what dyes, what ingredients. Two of our kids are on the spectrum, so we have to be careful on what it is that they consume. Make sure they get their vitamins and whatnot. So we're very conscious of what comes into the household. Um, and going through it with her and with her backing, saying, that this looks great and our kids can enjoy it. We don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. Um, has definitely played a big role in that decision. But we decide everything together.
Chris, what do you think is most important for people to know in entrepreneurship as you've been doing this for so long? If you had one saying or like a mantra or whatever you say is your phrase, what is that keeps you going?
Um, the people around you, make sure that you have people that support you. They tell you when you're wrong, when you're right, and just believe in yourself and do everything you can to succeed.
I like that. I think that's really important too. I mean, if you've got people around you that are always yes, sir, yes, yes, ma'ams, how do you really
Yep,
know if you're getting authentic feedback if all they want to do is people please you, right?
you're right.
And then also being the kind of person, I would imagine you are, that people feel comfortable coming to you to be able to express if they think you're wrong.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I welcome the criticism. Very uh they're very comfortable giving me criticism, which that's fine. But it's important. You need to hear that criticism.
And not
But you
take it
also
personally,
need
because
to
I think
balance
you
that.
know it's
Right.
not about you.
Nope.
It's about they want to see you succeed, I would imagine.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're very close to our family, and they have all differing views. But the one thing that we all have in common is that they want us to succeed. They believe in us, and that gives us power.
Well, we're so excited. Vault is so honored that you picked the drink to help distribute it and to spread the message and to bring a better for you drink into the market. Um, my kids drink it too. I've got an 11 and a 15-year-old, and we're very cognizant of sweeteners. We're very cognizant of any kind of thing that long term, I mean, those micros build up into macros. And with my kids playing sports and just being surrounded by all that messaging, I'm so grateful to know that we're starting. I really think it's a revolution, honestly, to fight like what big pharma is what big sugar is. Sugar is suppressing and really killing America, and caffeine is overstimulating and creating disease long term, whether we acknowledge it or not. Not to say caffeine's all bad, right? But I think that there's an overconsumption. And
Yep.
I think if we can ease that consumption to when it's necessary or needed, we really, really are empowering our future generations and setting them up for healthier things.
100% agree. 100%. And
Um,
and we're very grateful that Vault is and Ketone Labs is a real partner and has definitely set the bar for other partnerships.
Thank you. We find it really important here with our intellectual property, especially. I think that gives a lot of people peace of mind to know that we're regulating the kind of products, who they're getting it, where they're getting it from. Because I'm not sure if you know this, but beta hydroxybutyrate, when it's going through its process of fermentation or how it's developed, if it's not done through a very careful, meticulous process, and done a certain way, you actually, people try to undercut and skip steps to sell it for cheaper. So by us owning the IP and then knowing how it's made, we're able to ensure that when it has our trademark, our stamp of approval on it, you are getting the best of the best, and you're not getting something subpar, and you're not going to get something moldy or something that could potentially harm you, because we've had that before. How is your BHB made? And just knowing that our brand, we could go back and say it's made this way, puts an ease of mind in customers. Especially, you don't want to be taking a product 5, 10 years down the road and find out it's causing you harm. Like, that would be the worst thing ever.
Yeah, no. Having something uh, happen later on and know it's because of the fact that you weren't cautious, there's no reversing time. So this is an absolute revolution. This is the next generation of the energy category. I truly believe that. I actually think I heard that there are other drinks coming to market that with big names behind it that are
Yeah.
caffeine free. People are looking at that, at the supplemental facts, at the nutrition facts, and they're being horrified. And the market is just it's booming towards that.
What's so cool though is we really do, and we're not a marketing company, meaning like we aren't out there to fool or take advantage. We are truly 100% bioidentically authentic, and I think that's where we're going to be really take off, is once people understand, oh my gosh, they've got the real thing, and start to awaken to how they're being taken advantage of in their money. They're going to start
Yep,
spending their dollars where it matters.
yep, that's right.
Is there anything else you'd like to add or share with us about what you do?
I think that's it. Just go to trackbeverages.com. You'll see the distribution list of the handful of products that we distribute. We are extremely picky about who we partner with. You can follow us, like I said, on Facebook, on Instagram, see the pictures of the products in the vaults, the vault in the vaults. and see where the nearest store near you is.
You guys, you know where to find it. Pick it up, try it, and give us your feedback. Listen, we're on the way to a revolutionary change with what people are looking for. So get on track with us. Thanks, Chris, for being here.
Yeah, thank you, Bonnie.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you like what you heard, please share it and help us keep the conversation going. We can't grow without you. So thank you in advance for your support of Power of Perseverance.